Bob, am I correct if when one additional commissioner starts, we will have a quorum and I can start the meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone we're not expecting?
I haven't heard of anybody. Oftentimes people send an email, but I haven't received any.
Gwen, I just joined.
Yeah,
This is Adela.
Adela.
Great, thanks, Adela. We have 1 minute. Bob, I'm going to wait 1 more minute and then we'll get started.
Okay.
I see Commissioners Cox and Trevino have joined us. Great. Okay, Tech, I'm starting the meeting at 1:01 p.m. Central Time. Good afternoon and welcome to the November 9th regular meeting of the Community Development Commission of Chicago. I am Gwendolyn Hatton Butler, Chair of the CDC and host of today's virtual meeting. On October 15th, Governor Pritzker renewed his executive order proclaiming that all counties in the state of Illinois are in a disaster area. Section 7 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act allows the CDC, along with other city boards and commissions, to host virtual meetings during this COVID-19 public health emergency, provided that certain conditions are met. One of those conditions is that the chair of this commission determines that an in-person meeting on the scheduled meeting date would not be practical or prudent. To ensure that today's virtual meeting meets all the conditions of the Open Meetings Act, I am hereby making the determination pursuant to Section 7E2 of the Act that due to the COVID-19 public health emergency, an in-person meeting would not have been practical or prudent today. Therefore, in accordance with the Commission's emergency rules, this meeting is being held virtually on Zoom and can be viewed live via the Commission's website. A court reporter is present today to record the proceedings. Commissioners, you have all been designated as panelists, which means that you will be able to control your microphone. Please remember to place your microphone on mute unless you need to speak. If you want to be recognized by the chair, please activate the raise your hand feature and you will be called in order. The agenda for today's meeting was posted on November 3rd, both online at the CDC's website and physically in City Hall. I will now begin the meeting with a call of the roll. Commissioners, when your name is called, please turn your microphone on, respond by saying present, and please also indicate that you can hear me. Vice Chair Newsom.
Present, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Brooks. Commissioner Buford.
Here, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Cepeda.
Here, and I can hear.
Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Here, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Cox.
Present, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Curtis. Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Gomez.
Hi, I'm here and I can hear you.
Commissioner Griggs.
Present, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas.
Present, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Trevino.
Present, and I can hear you.
Commissioner Wheat.
Present, and I can hear you.
And Chair Butler is present. We have a quorum. The first item on our agenda, request approval of the minutes from our previous meeting held on October 12th. The commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes, and if there are no corrections, I am looking for a motion to approve.
So move, Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Do I have a second?
Second, Commissioner Brooks, so that the record could state I am present and I can hear you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brooks. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, all votes are to be conducted by roll call so that each member's vote on each issue can be identified and recorded. If you were not in attendance at the October 12th meeting, please indicate that you abstain on this motion when your name is called. Vice Chair Newsom.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
I abstain.
Commissioner Buford.
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda.
I abstain on this one.
Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Curtis. Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Gomez.
Yes.
Commissioner Griggs.
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Trevino.
Yes.
Commissioner Wheat.
Yes.
And Chair Butler votes yes. The motion passes. Commissioners, the bylaws of the CDC allow for the election of a vice chairman and a secretary. The office of secretary has been vacant since our October 10th meeting, when I was asked to take over the role of chair following the resignation of former chairman Jorge Perez. After discussing potential candidates with Vice Chair Newsom and Department of Planning Development Commissioner Cox, it is my pleasure to put forward the nomination of Commissioner Christopher Wheat to become our new secretary. Commissioner Wheat has been a CDC commissioner for over 2.5 years. Chris is currently the executive director of the George J. Stigler Center for the Study of Economy and the State at the University of Chicago, Booth School of Business. Chris has previously worked with cities around the country on environmental policy issues and served as former Mayor Emanuel's chief of policy. Commissioner Wheat holds a BA from Washington University in St. Louis and an MBA from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. I am looking for a second on the nomination of Christopher Wheat as the new CDC secretary.
Seconded by Commissioner Cox.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. All those in favor signify by saying aye via roll call. I'm going to do a roll call or vote. All those opposed signify by saying no, and please indicate if you are abstaining from the vote. Vice Chair Newsom.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Buford.
Aye.
Commissioner Cepeda.
Aye, and thank you.
Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Aye.
Commissioner Cox.
Aye.
Commissioner Curtis. Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Gomez.
Yes.
Commissioner Griggs.
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Trevino.
Aye.
Commissioner Wheat.
And this feels like a Rule 14, so I'll abstain.
All right. And Chair Butler votes aye. Therefore, given this vote unanimous with one abstention, Christopher Wheat has now been elected Secretary of the Community Development Commission. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam
Congratulations.
Chair. Thank you, Commissioners.
The public was given an opportunity to provide written comments up to 24 hours prior to the start of this meeting through the CDC email address, cdc@cityofchicago.org. There were no written comments in the CDC mailbox for today's meeting. The CDC's emergency rules require that any member of the public wishing to comment on an agenda item could do so by registering in advance at the CDC's mailbox up to 24 hours before the start of today's meeting. No members of the public signed up to speak at this meeting. So now we'll move on to our new business. For our first item of new business, the Department of Housing is requesting authority to advertise its intention to enter into a city lots for working families program redevelopment agreement with Prodigy LLC or a related entity for the disposition of city-owned property. The city-owned property is located in the Midwest Redevelopment Project area at 1905, 1915, and 1919 South Albany Avenue, and also located in the Ogden-Pulaski Redevelopment Project area at 1916 and 1927 South Troy Avenue, and 1914 and 1926 South Albany Avenue. Brian O'Donnell will present the staff report on behalf of the Department of Housing. Brian, you may begin when ready.
Thank you and good afternoon, Chairwoman Butler, Vice Chairwoman Newsom, and Commission members. For the record, my name is Brian O'Donnell, representing the Homeownership Bureau of the Department of Housing. Also online today are Emmeline Brown, developer and principal of Prodigy LLC, Andy Roman of RRG Construction Services, and Victor Reyes Jr., project architect with IPSA Architecture and Design. We are here today requesting your approval to sell 7 parcels of land, 3 of which are in the Midwest TIF area, 4 of which are in the Ogden-Pulaski TIF, to Prodigy LLC under the City Lots for Working Families program. The City Lots for Working Families program allows the city to sell from 8 to 20 lots to developers for $1 each to encourage the construction of for-sale housing. 24th Ward Alderman Michael Scott supports the sale of these lots and is online today should you wish to hear from him. Prodigy LLC is the applicant and proposed developer. Prodigy has been working in the North and South Lawndale communities for several years, having rehabbed several properties, including this one, which is adjacent to the lots you are considering today. This one is at 1924 South Albany. Mrs. Brown currently owns 5 rehab multi-unit properties in North and South Lawndale, a total of 17 rental units. She has rehabbed 4 other area properties, some of which she has sold or is in the process of selling. This slide offers a glimpse into the housing market in both North and South Lawndale. As I say, every time I present, the most important figures on the slide are the average annual change figures. As a reminder, the program guidelines for the City Lots for Working Families program do not establish a sales price. Rather, a maximum price is set that must be affordable for households at 120% of the area median income. Actual purchasers can earn up to 140% of the area median income. 25% of the homes can be sold with no restrictions on price or buyer income. Developers will likely try to get to the maximum price, but in reality, the developer will have to meet or establish the market. In 2 other presentations to you this year, I have mentioned the Building Neighborhood and Affordable Affordable Homes Program, BANA for short. And Chairwoman Butler requested that I flesh the program out a bit for you. There were 5 target areas in the 2018 ordinance that established the program. Even though 4 of the lots under consideration today are in the North Lawndale community area, all of the lots are in the South Lawndale-Banna area. Eligible buyers can receive a grant of $50,000 to $60,000 for the uses noted here. 1/10 of the initial grant amount is forgiven every year the initial buyer uses the home as a primary residence, and after 10 years, the grant is forgiven. Four parcels of the proposed project are in the Ogden-Pulaski redevelopment project area. The proposed project will satisfy the following goals of the area's redevelopment plan. I don't know what that was. An improved quality of life in the community and an improved community image with new neighborhood infrastructure and development. The redevelopment objectives include support for the development of new mixed income and mixed density housing, including for sale units available at market rate and affordable prices, and providing opportunities for women-owned, minority-owned, and local businesses to share in the redevelopment project area. 3 parcels of the proposed project are in the Midwest Development Project area. The implementation strategy for achieving the plan's goals envisions the sale of city land for residential development. The proposed project also conforms to the plan's land use map, which calls for residential development at the subject sites.
Brian, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. We have several attendees who are not muted. If I could ask everyone just to check to make sure they are muted, we won't get any further interruptions. Please, Brian, please proceed.
Thank you. Located 5 miles southwest of Duluth, the North Lawndale neighborhood is a population of nearly 34,000 people. It has a housing mix that includes 1,583 single-family detached homes, plus 375 single-family attached homes, and over 4,100 two-unit homes. Over 60% of all housing stock types were built before 1940, while almost 12% have been built in the last 20 years. In 2018, the median income was approximately $29,900. There have been 4 new construction building permits issued over the last 5 years in North Lawndale for 1 or 2 unit building types, which make up about 40% of the housing stock in North Lawndale. And our project is in the yellow circled area. South Lawndale has a population of over 71,000, down from a peak of 91,000 in 2000. South Lawndale has a housing mix that includes over 4,200 single-family dwellings and over 7,550 two-unit homes. Over 70% of all housing stock types were built before 1940, while less than 1% have been built in the last 20 years. In 2018, the median income was approximately $32,000. There have been 3 new construction building permits issued over the last 5 years in South Lawndale for 1 or 2 unit building types which make up over 56% of the area's housing stock. There we have a bird's eye view of the lots under consideration today, along with their appraised values and other pertinent information. 1905 South Albany is a double lot and will be the site of 2 homes. Here's a general look at a map of the area. The lots would be within the yellow box. It is a very short walk to Douglas Park or to the Kedzie Pink Line stop, which is less than a 20-minute commute to the loop. Now we are looking at a site map for the proposed development with 4 home variations. Proposed are 2 type A homes, 3 B type homes, 2 C type homes, and the 1 D home at the corner of 19th and Albany. The red thunderbolts indicate other city-owned lots that will hopefully be the site of a future city lots for working families development. The proposed two flats are to have a front facade of modular brick that wraps around 4 feet to meet a hardy board finish or an equivalent product type that envelops the remaining 3 sides. The total area for each two flat is about 3,712 square feet. A 2,475 square foot owner's unit will be the top 2 floors. The 3 bedrooms are situated on the 3rd floor, so the 2nd floor will remain open for more active family living spaces. The 1,237 square foot on-grade rental unit will occupy the 1st floor and will consist of 2 bedrooms in the rear with the front area for family living space. An accessible home will be available to any potential buyer requesting one, and floor plans for an exhibit to your staff. The entire development is expected to cost just over $3 million. The pro forma assumes 6 two-unit homes will sell for the program maximum of $409,000, with 2 unrestricted homes selling for $450,000 each, which would bring maximum revenue to approximately $3,354,000. If all goes well here today and in 9 days at Plan Commission, this is the schedule for moving through the legislative process and then starting the project. The Department of Housing has thoroughly reviewed the proposed project, the qualifications of the developer, the financial structure of the project, the need for public assistance, its public benefits, and the project's conformance with the redevelopment area plans. And DOH recommends that the CDC approve the sale of the designated parcels to Prodigy LLC or to a related entity for the development of these homes. This concludes the formal presentation.
Thank you, Brian. I'd like to now ask the commissioners if they have any questions. And from the development team, we have Emelyn Brown, Victor Reyes, and Andy Roman to help answer your questions. So if you have questions, could you please raise your hand? Vice Chair Newsom.
Brian, did I understand you to say that the home ownership unit is a duplex unit covering 2 floors?
Yes, the top 2 floors.
Okay, so that is why we classify this as a 2 flat. Okay,
Yes.
All right. And it is the larger of the 2 units. There are garages for each of these homes. One of the, and I'm assuming they're 2-car garages?
Yes.
Okay, so one would be for the tenant as well as one for the owner.
Well, I believe that will be between the owner and the tenant.
Okay. Okay.
Vice Chair Newsom, any additional questions?
I think the only other question I would have is the 2 market rate units that are being constructed. And you show, I believe, a maximum cost of approximately $407,000. Is there a possibility that those 2 market rate houses can be built to order, which could in fact end up increasing that cost?
Yes. You know, the footprint's going to be basically the same. I'm sure there will be upgrades available.
Upgrades. Okay. Thank you.
And to my great dismay, I neglected to acknowledge Alderman Michael Scott from the 24th Ward, who is present. And Alderman Scott, please accept my apologies. If you would care to make any comments before the commission, that would be terrific.
Oh, no worries, Commissioner. Thank you for acknowledging me. I thought I would speak at the end, but just want to give my support to this project. It is something that we've been working on for about 4 or 5 years. And if you can keep track, I think I've been before the committee, I think the last 3 months, or I know over the last 4 months, I've been several times, in essence, to rebuild or repopulate North Lawndale. Since about 1950, as you guys know, 1968, and after the riots of Martin Luther King, the housing stock in North Lawndale has been decimated. And we've tried smaller projects throughout the years, but nothing is a concerted effort as this administration and the commissioner of both housing and planning to make sure that we have housing stock with all of the development that we have going on in North Lawndale. As you know, this is right off the Invest Southwest corridor, right along Ogden. It is in the way southern tip of North Lawndale, right around where I have most of my Latinx population. And so this, I think, is a great fit with the developer who is of Latinx descent. She has done several developments in and around my community. I've seen most of them, and they are all of high quality. And so I expect nothing but high quality from this development. And the reason that I think this is really important is, as Brian talked about, one, it's a two flat. So we're going to bring more residents into the building. We're going to create home ownership, which will help offset the cost of the $400,000. But we also have built in here an opportunity for an owner to get, I think it's $50,000 to $60,000 in city subsidies to help offset that and make it more affordable for that homeowner. And so, I ask favorable support of this committee. I want to give kudos to, again, the Department of Housing, as well as the Department of Planning and Development, for working with me on a continuous basis to bring housing and development back to the 24th Ward. And if you have any other questions from any of the committee members, I'll be here to take those. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alderman Scott. Are there other questions from the commissioners? I don't see any additional raised hands. So with that, it's time to call the item for a vote. The resolution before us requests authority for the Department of Housing to advertise its intention to enter into a City Lots for Working Families program redevelopment agreement with Prodigy LLC or a related entity for the disposition of city-owned property located at 1905, 1915, and 1919 South Albany Avenue in the Midwest Redevelopment Project area, and 1916 and 1927 South Troy Street in the Ogden-Pulaski Redevelopment Project area, and 1914 and 1926 South Albany Avenue, also in the Ogden-Pulaski Redevelopment Project area, to request alternative proposals and to approve the sale of the property to 63rd Maryland LLC. I'm sorry, Bob, is this right? 63rd Maryland LLC?
No, it should be Prodigy LLC.
That's what I thought. All right, to approve the sale of the property to Prodigy LLC or related entity if no responsive alternative proposals are received, and to request authority for the Department of Housing to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with Prodigy LLC or related entity for redevelopment of the property, and to recommend to the City Council of the City of Chicago the designation of Prodigy LLC or related entity as developer if no responsive alternative proposals are received. Brian, do I have that right?
I believe you do, yes.
All right, thank you so much. Do I have a motion?
So move, Madam Chair.
Do I have a second?
Second, this is Commissioner Chan McKibben.
Thank you, Commissioners Newsom and Chan McKibben. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, all votes are to be conducted by roll call so that each member's vote on each issue can be identified and recorded. Vice Chair Newsom,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Buford,
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda,
Yes.
Commissioner Chan McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Curtis, Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Griggs,
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Yes.
Thank you. Please note that Commissioner Rhodes is in the meeting. Thank you, Commissioner Rhodes. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Trevino,
Yes.
Secretary Wheat,
Yes.
and Chair Butler votes yes. The motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, committee.
For our second item of new business, the Department of Planning and Development is requesting authority to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with 1357 Owner LLC or a related entity for the construction of public infrastructure required as part of the redevelopment of the former Morton Salt Factory located at 1357 North Elston Avenue in the North Branch South Tax Increment Financing. Excuse me, could someone please go on mute? All right, I will start over. I'm not sure how much of that everyone was able to hear. For our second item of new business, the Department of Planning and Development is requesting authority to negotiate a redevelopment agreement with 1357 Owner LLC or a related entity for the construction of public infrastructure required as part of the redevelopment of the former Morton Salt Factory located at 1357 North Elston Avenue in the North Branch South Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project area, and to recommend to the City Council of the City of Chicago the designation of 1357 Owner LLC as developer. Edward Solis will present the staff report on behalf of the Department of Planning and Development. Ed, you may begin your presentation when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Chairman Butler and members of the Commission. For the record, my name is Edward Solis. I'm a financial planning analyst with the Department of Planning and Development. Here with me today are Deputy Commissioner Tim Jeffries, Assistant Commissioner Terrence Johnson, and representative from the development team, Tyler Quest of Blue Star Properties. As mentioned, the resolution before you requests a recommendation to the City Council for designation of 1357 Property Owner LLC as developer for certain infrastructure improvements associated with the Morton Salt redevelopment, and for the authority for the Department of Planning and Development to negotiate redevelopment agreement with the developer for those infrastructure improvements. The proposed project is located in the Westtown community area in the 27th Ward within the North Branch South TIF District. Alderman Burnett of the 27th Ward is in support of this project, and also Alderman Hopkins, who shares the TIF district with Alderman Burnett. The developer intends to redevelop the former salt production facility into a 97,000 square foot mixed use facility with a live music venue, retail, and office spaces. Additionally, Morton Salt will relocate its research and development center from its current location in Elgin into a state-of-the-art center at this location. The estimated cost of this Morton Salt redevelopment is $47 million. The larger project is subject to a PD, which has passed in February of this year. Not included in this $47 million budget is an estimated $3.5 million off-site public way improvements, which is the request before you today. The developer designation to be negotiated in the RA is solely for the completion of the infrastructure improvements. No TIF will be provided for the larger project. The funding request will be in form of an interest-bearing TIF loan with a project timeline of 90 days, beginning in the second quarter of 2022. That timeline is strictly for the infrastructure. Because of this new traffic, this new redevelopment will generate, here's an overview of the necessary infrastructure improvements that were identified by CDOT. Note that CDOT would have not undertaken on this infrastructure but for the redevelopment of the Morton Salt site. The location of such offsite, sorry. Here's an aerial view of where the site is located. It is located in the intersection of Elston, Blackhawk, and Magnolia. Part of the infrastructure that is being done here will be a full improvement of Blackhawk Street from Elston on the west and north, and the north branch of the Chicago River to the east. As you can see from this northeast view onto Magnolia, there is a need to improve the intersection. To do this, Magnolia Avenue will be resurfaced. The developer will be installing new diagonal parking, and along with the reconstruction of sidewalks, curbs, and gutters. There will also be 17 parking spaces provided along Magnolia per the PD. And in addition, the developer has identified additional off-site parking close to the venue to be used during special events.
Edward, I'm going to stop you. I think Andy Roman, I see that your mic is on. If you could mute yourself, please. Thank you. Please, Edward, please proceed.
Thank you. Furthermore, there will also be an installation of a three-way traffic signal to mitigate the new traffic, as you can see from this picture, which is facing east. Moving on north to the intersection of North Avenue and Magnolia, as you can see on my left, there's currently only a right turn. So it prevents you from going west onto North Avenue, which would lead you onto 9094. In order to fix this issue, there will be the installation of a new traffic signal and a left turning lane. Now we shift south of the site to the intersection of Division and Elston. You will see that there's also a need for pedestrian protection. We will be installing a new left turn signal here, and also pedestrian enhancements will be created to improve the safety of those pedestrians. The TIF loan structure for this will be in an interest-bearing form of 2% annually. The loan will be repaid over 10 years compliance period. Any sale of the large project prior to the end of the compliance period would trigger a repayment of the loan. DPD deemed the loan structure appropriate due to difficulty of obtaining reasonably priced traditional financing for infrastructure improvements, such as those completed here. So ultimately, our goal is to get to this, which is going to be known as Salt District. The infrastructure will allow for the completion of this and the restoration of historic Chicago Staples site. Salt District will serve as a retail and entertainment anchor for Goose Island. Here are additional renderings of the final product. DPD has thoroughly reviewed the proposed project, the qualifications of the development team, and the financial structure and the need for public assistance. DPD recommends that the Community Development Commission recommends to the City Council the designation of 1357 Owner LLC as developer for the city infrastructure. DPD also requests that the Commission provide DPD the authority to negotiate, execute, and deliver this on the city's behalf a redevelopment agreement with 1357 Owner LLC for the infrastructure improvements. Alder Burnett is supportive of this project and is also in attendance. Thank you, and I welcome any questions you may have.
Thank you, Edward. Before we get to the commissioner's questions, I would like to recognize Alderman Walter Burnett from the 27th Ward. Alderman Burnett, thank you for joining us. Do you have comments you'd like to make to the commission?
Sure. You got to excuse me. I'm on another committee meeting at the same time as usual. But first of all, I want to thank the people at the Department of Planning. This project is going to preserve a building, is going to give us needed infrastructure over in that community, is going to bring several jobs to the city of Chicago, and is going to bring a lot of the tax dollars from the out-of-town people coming to the venue to be entertained. So it's a pleasure to have this venue here. I support this TIF loan agreement. We're not giving them money. We're loaning them money. So we may even make some interest off of the money. So I support this. Hold on one moment. Alderman Burnett, I support this 100%, and ask for the this body's support. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Burnett. Is Alderman Brian Hopkins from the Second Ward or anyone from his office on this video meeting call? If they are, please raise your hand and I can give you the opportunity to speak. I don't see anyone from Alderman Hopkins' organization or the Alderman himself on the video call. So I will turn it over now to the commission for their questions. Commissioners from the development team, we have Tyler Quast to help answer questions from you. Any questions, please raise your hand. Commissioner Thomas.
It's not a question. It's a good opportunity and loan agreement. I just had an impression that I was pretty impressed at how Alderman Burnett was able to hear what was going on in the second meeting while speaking to us in his first meeting. I'm impressed.
You're funny.
Yes, that's extremely impressive. Other comments or questions from the commission? Secretary Wheat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a question either for staff or for the developers. Can you talk a little bit, maybe actually two questions. One, what is the overall status of the project? And secondly, if the project was to be downsized or ultimately not pursued, what then becomes the status of the loan? I do know that the debt of the TIF loan does sit junior to some other potential credit holders, but this, essentially, where does the city sit if the project does have to go to bankruptcy?
I can answer the second question, and then Tyler Quest from the development team can address your first question. We are recording the RDA against the property, so should the project fail, we have that as a protection. And Tyler, do you want to chime in on the status of the project?
Sure. Tyler Quast from Blue Star Properties, the developer. Status of the project right now is we are full on swinging a hammer. We have the old salt shed roof off, a new salt shed roof going on, a ton of interior improvements and a ton of infrastructure work going on the site itself. Anticipation on our end is to be turned over with spaces to tenants, specific tenants by spring of next year, with the anticipation of them operating by the late summer of next year.
Got it. Thank you.
Secretary Weed, any further questions or comments?
No questions or comments. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Other questions or comments from the commissioners? I don't see any raised hands, so I will now call the item for a vote. The resolution before us requests the CDC's authority and approval, allowing the Department of Planning and Development to enter into a negotiated redevelopment agreement with 1357 owner LLC or a related entity for the construction of public infrastructure required as part of the redevelopment of the former Morton Salt Factory located at 1357 North Elston Avenue in the North Branch South Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project area, and to recommend to the City Council of the City of Chicago the designation of 1357 owner LLC as developer. Do I have a motion?
So move, Commissioner Brooks.
Thank you, Commissioner Brooks. Do I have a second?
Second, Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. I will now call the roll for the vote. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, all votes are to be conducted by roll call, so that each member's vote on each issue can be identified and recorded. Please signify your vote on approval of the motion by saying yes, no, or abstain. Vice Chair Newsom,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Buford,
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda,
Yes.
Commissioner Chan McKibben, Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Curtis, Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Griggs,
Yes.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Trevino,
Yes.
Secretary Week,
Yes.
and Chair Butler votes yes. The motion passes. Thank you, commissioners. I would now like to request a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chairman, I have a comment for the commissioner and for Brian, possibly with regard to the first item on the agenda.
Please,
May.
Vice Chair Newsom.
Thank you. I understand that it was determined that you received too few applicants in order to conduct a parade of homes. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I'm looking at the fact that you have basically 8 lots that were under consideration. The purpose, from my knowledge, for the parade of homes is to more or less obtain as many prototypes as possible to really and truly present to potential owners a variety of housing types in the area. And I think with as few as 8 lots, 3 developers or 4 developers could possibly be considered because most developers have more than one prototype, in their a range of houses that they build. And so quite possibly in the future, maybe the Department of Housing could in fact consider a lower or smaller number of developers and in fact have a parade of homes and utilizing the various types of housing that the developers build so that you don't end up with, say, a cookie cutter set of housing in the same area in the community. Is that something that is worth pursuing?
Sure. This is Brian O'Donnell speaking for the record. I just want to, the minimum of 5 developers was for more than these 8 lots. It was for, I think we had made available all of the city-owned lots in the Banner area.
Okay. That clarifies it for me. I
Okay.
assumed that it was for just this particular project area. And with so few, I just thought it was worth, pursuing a parade of homes with, well, as few as 3 developers, because I'm sure each of them could have come up with 2 different housing types to present.
Sure. Just so you know, I'm sure you know Jerome Wade.
Yes, I do.
So he's done, I think, every parade of homes that the city has done through the years. And he's the one, I talk to him frequently on many things, but he's the one who says, if you don't have 5, then you really can't do a parade. So
I
5
think
is the
that's not
minimum.
necessarily the case, and particularly for as few as 8.
Well, that's lots, 8 lots. But so, and keep in mind, one of the other respondents we heard I think in July, that was on the 1200 block of South Troy. And another one, but if you remember where the site plan was, I had the red Thunderbolts where another housing type is going to be going in. So.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, thank you, Vice Chair Newsom. And, once again, you're reminding me that, and I will work with Bob McKenna on this, that we probably should, at the end of each meeting, just have the opportunity for any commissioners to make comments or ask general questions before we ask for adjournment. So thank you for that, Vice Chair Newsom.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would now like to request a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
So move, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair Newsom. Do I have a second?
Second,
Thank you. I think that was Commissioner Cepeda.
true.
Right? I know your voice. All right, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed signify by
Yes.
saying no. I don't hear any no's. So the yays have it. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.